Wait. All right, this could be a good one. These two runners are pretty close in terms of their ELOs and times, and they're running casual. And killed, and I will get game 3 on this. Good luck to both our runners. So for those not familiar with the introduction and the prologue, we want to we want to get 41 hearts, and then we want to end to 0 hearts, and end with the cross sub-weapon, which it looks like Fire got, and Razzio may be having some troubles here. He's taken damage already. Not a great start on Razzio's front, but again, there's a lot of game in front of us. Oh, and the restart from Razzio, that hurts to see, but again, there's a lot of things that that could play out here, and that doesn't mean anything right now. Puts him about a minute behind, though. So for those not familiar with the casual format, everything is randomized. Every weapon, though, you see may look familiar. It is not the same weapon as you'd see before. Stats have been randomized, abilities have been randomized. There are relics, obviously, that are in completely different locations. And with casual, there's no required logic, which means that anything could be anywhere. Just last night, there was a match that had all 5 relics in the first castle. So very tough to predict where things will go. And no library card or optional death skip. So as in the vanilla game, you're going to lose all your starting equipment here. But hopefully, because it's randomized, we should pick up a powerful weapon somewhere soon. Yeah. And we see Razzio's just going into the death spite. Where the Dracula prologue fight again. So a shield, which is great because it lets them do a technique called shield dash, which will let them move around at least a little bit faster. And no relic in the first slot there, where there's usually a cube of Zoe. So that's interesting to see. And another attempt from MrRazzio. This is unusual. So one of the reasons why we do this is we want an early amount of MP, but it's obviously more important at a certain point to just complete the prologue rather than go for an optimal prologue. But it looks like it's a bit of a stumbling block. Yeah, Master of None, this absolutely hurts. He's about 2.5 minutes behind at this point, and you know, if anyone can make it up, it's Razzio, but not what you want to see out of the gate. So, St. Smith 14, or STS Smith 14, I don't know how to pronounce your name, sorry, but, oh, and an ice brand for Fire, that'll be interesting. The SOTN Randomizer has been around for a bit of time here. It's definitely improved more and more over time, with a lot of variants, and different new modes that are constantly coming out. Ones where you start with wolf relics, mist relics. People have been really messing around with a lot of the code, and you can have things like changed costs on spells. There's a really interesting member of the community, Ziggy Pigster, shoutouts to Ziggy, who has done absolutely amazing backdoor to an interesting axe armor mod. It's not a huge community, but it's a very active community. And it's a very welcoming one. So STS Smith, if you're interested at all, there's a lot of people who are happy to help you with anything. And another empty relic slot early. That's interesting to see. We're going to have to get some sort of progression in the near future, pushing them to keep. So the game's pretty generous right now, giving sword and shield, and a pretty decent sword at that. The Ice Brand's got 32 attack, which is pretty awesome for an early game weapon. So hopefully, Raz will be able to pick up some of that time. Here we see a clock room. And as you can see, that shield dash is just so much faster. It's really nice to see one of the early weapons as a shield, or one of the early drops as a shield, because otherwise this can get really slow with no movement, like Wolf or Bat. It's much better. So, Spaded Ace, if you did just miss it, MrRazzio restarted the prologue multiple times. He's about 2.5 to 3 minutes to start a castle has to make up. So yeah, what you're seeing on MrRazzio's screen is a typical setup for the Slogger Gaibon fight, a Tetra Spirit into attacking with whatever weapon you have. It's a really good way to take the two of them down pretty quickly. And we're about to see a Doppel fight, or a Doppelganger 10 fight on Fire side. So without early flight, there's no way to skip this, and we're going to see it. It can sometimes be a bit of a time sink if you don't get it into a good loop. So we'll see how he does. So ideally, for the Doppelganger fight, we would have the stopwatch, which freezes the Doppelganger in place. Although this is pretty nice with the Ice Brand actually on point here, and a pretty good easy fight for Fire on that one. Meal Ticket. So he got a bit baited on that with the item randomization. Sometimes it's hard to tell meal tickets apart, or it's often hard to tell meal tickets apart from library cards. So we always want to see library cards. They're really good early, they're really good late, they're really good mid. They are really quick movement and can be an easy way. Wow, and Soul of Bat. That's going to be really nice for both runners once they both get it. But yeah, the library card is a really good form of movement, super early. Wow. So yeah, the Soul of Bat is going to let him transform into Bat, which gives us flight. It opens up a huge number of checks at this point, so we may see some interesting route divergence less than 10 minutes into this, which is always nice to see. Yeah, Mateus, sorry if you're joining late. MrRazzio restarted prologue multiple times, so it's not great. Yeah, Barkeep, you're right. It looks like Fire missed the ring. That's going to be potentially enough for MrRazzio to come back. So, where we had thought there was no item at the location of the bottom Marble Gallery, where you would see the Spirit Orb. There's two items that can drop there. One is a relic, which will be floating there and easy to see, and sometimes instead of no item, there'll actually be either the gold or silver ring, or spikebreaker armor, which will be actually off to the side on a platform. And it looks like it was gold ring, which may be required to open the Holy Glass's check spot. So that's, I mean, this is really interesting already. And it's only going to get more interesting from the looks of it. One of the wolf relics gets picked up by fire.
I'm interested in this.
Honestly, with bat this early, wolf is likely not to be anything useful, but it is. You know, it's some runners prefer to pick up relics. Some of them will work with them. Doing a quick check of shop. Seeing and shop in casual is a little bit slower because you're not just looking at the item names, although there's an $8,000 duplicator and they have the money, so that's an easy decision. But the stats on items are also randomized, so just because you see something that says Chrysogrim, it A, may not be a Chrysogrim, and B, may not have a good attack value. So it's always interesting to see what actually shows up in the shop, and the duplicator is going to make short work of some things. I don't know if Fire's got access to a mana prism. I didn't check all of his drops that came along, but it's definitely something he's going to want. That Ice Brand not being able to take out those guys in one hit is obviously quite frustrating. Yeah, Mateus, this is a very generous seat so far. We have the shield off the first drop, an Ice Brand, and then Soul of Bat, an elevator, and a dupe in shop. So definitely, definitely quite nice. Alright, so we're seeing Fire. Yeah, and he's gonna check. Oh, he's... that's surprising. Does Fire forget that he has Bat? There's a lot of things he's not checking. But... Heart of Lad. There we go. Oh, okay, he was going to the left so that he could wing smash up. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so we've already got 2 Vlad relics, which is nice. And we should be seeing what the next 3 in Keep have quite shortly. So right now, it's looking like Fire's going to Keep. The question is where he'll go after that. Razzio's just going through shop now. I'm sure he's going to pick up dupe, same. The question is where he's going to go from there. Without progression, we don't have Jewel of Open, so there's a lot of other checks that could be happening. So we obviously have entrance checks, alchemy lab checks, and the Coliseum and grab boots checks as well that we still haven't seen. So there could be something there, but it's a wide open field right now with it being casual and they have Bat. So item checks on Fire. And Malthus goes down. Yeah, Barkeep, I think Coliseum All Rocks is interesting. I love going early Coliseum myself. I just feel like it could be anything. It could even be a boat. But Fire is obviously quite skilled, and he's very comfortable in his routing choices. Very rarely second guesses himself. The real question is whether or not we're going to see anything at Creature today. The Fairy Scroll. So so far nothing on Keep. Yeah, he's going to have to go back in to get that refill. I think we're going to see a lot of item checks on Fire's side and probably on Razzio's as well, because they do have the duplicator, and it would be a huge boost if either of them managed to find a Mana Prism, which would be the ideal setup. But we'll have to see. And the obligatory RPG Jerkbirds. Wow, nothing at keep. That is surprising. And absolutely nothing. A Fairy Scroll and 2 cards. So no progression at keep. It looks like he's gonna warp probably to entrance and then do entrance checks, but not what you want to see. Yes, Old Faithful Rage. All the cards are coming. Although it looks like MrRazzio is falling into the same ploy. Obviously, it's appealing as an option. So Fire's about to save split. Chances are he's going to save split entrance. What that means is he's going to save his file, go all the way to the start, and then if it's nothing, or if it's something, or if he doesn't receive anything that he thinks is worth it, he will restart the game, lose any of that progress, and then start back at that save file. Honestly, especially with this early of a bat with no MP and no means to get back quickly, it makes a lot of sense. Sometimes you can route in with caverns, but especially if you're looking down the barrel of not having a quick way to come back. There's no wolf charge. There's mist, but will he keep it? So Power of Mist is useful in certain circumstances, and he's going to keep it. Okay, so that's okay. That's something where we may see a bit of a divergence. And MrRazzio obviously has abandoned his Ice Brand for using stars with the duplicator. Obviously, a very strong strategy there as well. Yeah, Smile Fire's incredibly early bat. Duplicator in library, absolutely very generous seed so far. And it looks like we're going to see the Alchemy Lab from Fire after he refills his MP. And we're going to get an attic check from MrRazzio. Really looking for, I would imagine, a Mana Prism. Passes on the Karma. Oh, a library card. That's nice. Yeah, absolutely, Jude. It's small time. Many small time make big time. So we're still looking for progression, but we've got flight. There's a lot that could go up. We could be seeing Jewel of Open. We could be seeing the other ring. Keep in mind that Fire still doesn't know that he's missing the ring. That's probably something that's going to hurt him pretty badly, because until he is forced to take that, if he is forced to take that, that's going to be something that's quite big. So Spaded Ace, that's a great question. How much of it comes down to execution versus game plan? This category is much more favorable to execution. There's less planning possibilities with regards to a logic here, simply because there's so much that could be in logic, and there's no maximum or minimum required complexity. So all 5 relics could be anywhere. The one thing that we were just talking about here was if gold and silver ring are required, that's something that Fire is going to have a really hard time with. And the longer it goes without forcing holy symbol if it's required, the harder it's going to be for him to recognize that he didn't pick it up. So that's something else that's going to make a difference here, and I'm sure he's going to be kicking himself post-game on that if it turns out that it's required. Yeah, so we have Jewel of Open now, which is interesting. Jewel of Open opens obviously the bottom part of the castle. I mean, they could go, they could full clear the bottom of it. Likely Holy Glasses is somewhere in the mix, but at this point, almost everything is open to them except for Library Mistgate and Silver Ring, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's a ticking time bomb, Ace, and it's gonna be huge. And the interesting thing too is that MrRazzio is probably thinking that they're significantly behind or disadvantaged at this point as a result of that early prologue failure, but that may not be the case here. And he's electing to put the fairy card on, so we're going to see the fairy. That is another change as part of this. We do have the Nose Devil card and the Sprite card for the two familiars that are essentially the Devil and the fairy. Functionally, no real difference in what it means for the game. So Fire is obviously climbing up to All Rocks after checking Coliseum and not taking what's there, but All Rocks has 2 checks up here. All Rocks behind plus sword card. Although he's got Pix of Dad up, which, you know, aces in my books for Fire on that. If you can deal with the seizure warning, it's great for clearing a lot of the screen, and it's also a great meme within the community. So it looks like Razzio's hot on Fire's tail, probably also heading to Clock Room. The question is he going to go down or is he going to go up to Uncle Allrox's? And you can see Pix of Dad just making such short work of bosses. It's absolutely amazing as an item. And it's Soul of Wolf. So far, nothing in Allrox's quarters. Let's see if Razzio goes up. Yeah, it's looking like he's choosing to go as well. And sword card is Mystic Pendant. So that's our silver ring, which means Fire is probably going to go down to Caverns. Razzio's going to discover what's at Holy Glasses, and we as the viewers are going to have potentially a very interesting spectacle to watch. So neither of the players choosing to take Leapstone. Leapstone is not required, obviously, but it does make a few quality of life differences, especially when you get to movement in Second Castle. Yes, dramatic irony, Ace. That's the term I was thinking of. Oh, I'm seeing some corn dogs in the chat from Base Virtuoso. All right, so we're going to see Razzio open the the he's opening the teleporter, which is good. Probably not going to need it after he clears the... Although he may take it for Silver Ring later. Yep, and so Fire is heading down to the caverns. So MrRazzio opting still for the stars. Clean on rocks fight. Very clean. And we see Fire in the underground caverns. First check here is going to be Succubus. But there's some good item, or there's a lot of opportunities for good items on the way. So I'm sure they both hope to see in the prison right about now. Corn Dog. Corn Dog, does he take it? No, but he does get a meal ticket. Yes, Smile, those are fantastic emotes. All right. Heading into the nightmare to fight the Succubus. As MrRazzio is about to find his Silver Ring. And it looks like the Holy Glasses are at Succubus, so now Castle 2 is open. So Fire is in hot water here, potentially, but we're about to find out for sure with MrRazzio heading back to Clock Room. Base, it's potentially a very painful seed for one of them. Just again, I don't know when you joined, but Fire missed the gold ring at Spirit Orb because it didn't look like anything, and it looks like MrRazzio's stuck waiting for MB, and he's got it. All right. Gas Cloud at Scylla. Not necessarily, Mateus. He could realize it, but it's probably going to be much later. Realistically, it's going to be a big problem. And like I said, the longer it goes without him realizing, the more that things open up, the more he's just going to continue chasing. But you know, let's hold off speculation until probably about a minute and a half from now, and we're going to find out. You know, it could also just be a bigger rabbit hole, right? It could be a merman statue or something that sends him... Actually, it's just merman statue that would waste his time. But it's going to be interesting. So Fire's opened the bridge, but he's likely elected... Yeah, he's going to elect to go check Merman statue. So Raz wants to find a Vlad here. Fire would want him to find something useless. So Merman wasn't anything. Sorry, Barkeep, I'm looking on the restream. I apologize. So it's just sword card. So Fire doesn't know it, but he's probably breathing a sigh of relief. He just gained another couple minutes on MrRazzio, which is unfortunate because, yeah, that's not what you want to see. Yes, Old Faithful Rage. Just it's nothing but pots of greed. So that means we're really just looking for Mist, potentially Merman statue. And that's it. At that point, everything in the game is open to us. Fire is undoubtedly the luckiest player, too. I'm waiting for one day that other shoe to drop, and it will be heard all around the world. Okay, Spirit Orb, which is nothing. So we're still 2 Vlads deep in first castle. And about to go into Catacombs. So from this point out, pretty much everything we're going to see is... Yeah, we're probably going to see it first on Fire side, which is not where Raz wants to be. That isn't to say this is over. There's still lots of great equalizers in this. Death being one of them, obviously. Not the enemy death, but player death. So we'll see what comes of that. But right now, the deck is definitely stacked heavily in Fire's favor. Watch him go straight up. For those not familiar with the community, Fire makes some pretty heavy gambles sometimes. Another Wolf Relic, which he elects to not take, and we're about to see, I assume, a Blind Bat. And for those not familiar with the game, typically this section of the game would require you to have Bat and a relic called Echo of Bat, which would allow you to see in the dark. But the speedrunning and some community being what they are, that's something we found a workaround for. Yeah, those power-up sires are incredibly helpful with all of the on-screen fires from the backs or gremlins. Let me see Fire here with a successful Blind Bat. Although he's being really casual with his MP here. So it's a card. So it looks like progression is going to be in Castle 2. But it's going to be a while before MrRazzio probably gets there, unless he decides to gamble it. And believe he will be checking entrance as well. Or no, he may have already picked that. Yeah, he did. Mortal Pixel, that's a great question. Actually, so there is a format called Adventure, which is awful and you shouldn't play. But there is another preset called Expedition, which is fantastic. And in that case, there are a lot more items or areas that can hold relics. And one of them is actually the Jewel Sword. And then on the inverse castle, the Topaz Circlet check. So absolutely, it can be there, just not in this preset. And there's Mateus with the answer way less wordy than mine. But yeah, so we see fire warping. That's the right call, obviously. He's doing the math in his head, and I think he knows. The real question is, are we going to have to come back with Mist or Merman Statue? Because there are still 3 checks in Castle 1 that we can't do. Yeah, it's really hard base. But obviously he doesn't, and what he's doing right now makes a lot of sense. So it makes sense to him, but obviously we as the viewers know more. And Fire not choosing to check Attic, which surprises me, considering all of the other checks he's done thus far. And yeah, you could see on with Razzio the real danger of those Ukabaks. Oh wow, Razzio is warping. Maybe he's not going down, and that would be... Wow, he's not going down. Wow, so he just made up a lot of his deficit in terms of time, and good on him. This is going to be really interesting to watch. All right, so we're going to see Darkwing or Giant Bat on Fireside first, while Razzio is fighting Shaft, Orb, and Richter. Wow, that clutch call, we've got to ask him that after the race. And just a holy symbol for Fire. This is a lot closer than it would otherwise be, and it's been a heck of a back and forth. Both runners making moves that very surprising, with absolutely no penalty. Yeah, and Pics of Dad making short work again of another pain enemy, obviously. And we're about to see Medusa. Yeah, Fire doesn't have library card. He also doesn't know that silver ring is where gold ring is. So, and that it's nothing. So, unlikely for that to factor into the end result, but we could still see something come of it. Yeah, Master of None. If creature has the mist, it'll be ages before Fire finds it. For those not in the know, in the community, Fire is known for always skipping creature. And as Jupiter was already alluding to, that never seeming to work against him. So who knows? Today may be the comeuppance, but we're going to see an Akmadon fight on Fire's side. And that was the fight. And he's just going to wait around for the relic, I assume. Nope. No, he's going to rib skip. All right. So there's Rib. We're at 3 of 5. 2 more could be in this castle. It's entirely possible, but who knows? Yeah, Jupiter. It's the self-fulfilling prophecy. If he never checks it, so it's never anything. Absolutely. And yeah, Mateus, library card could be huge if he doesn't have a fast way back. But again, it's going to take some probably significant bait for Fire to go back versus Razzio, who hasn't done Catacombs. So the longer this goes on, and the more he thinks he's already behind, probably because of the intro, he may end up making a subpar decision or a suboptimal decision. But we'll have to see how that plays out. The pressure will definitely be more on Razzio for this one. Fire getting the All Rocks teleporter, obviously. Okay, so we're going to see what Trio have in Coliseum. And again, this is a particularly scary area because of how low level the runners are. And they've got a duplicator on, too, which just puts their defense to 0. So everything here hits like a truck, and things can go wrong pretty quickly. But Pixidad should make quick work of these ones. And we've got another card. I think we've seen almost every card. There may be one left. But yeah, and that's a great example of how things can go bad. So you could see those Minotaurs hit for 65 damage each. If he got juggled even a little bit, that was gonna be the end of it. Yeah, so Barkeep, especially if you don't want... The one after death can be good if you don't want to... If you're not well-equipped to fight Galamoth, it can be good, or if you don't think that it's there, or there's things you've left behind, but yeah, it's problematic. Teleporters casually save a lot of time, but not so much in the second castle on Randomizer. So we're going to see bees. Some good techniques there from Fire, floating up to let Pixidad hit higher. That was a really good bees fight. And a life max up. So still nothing, and we've got a couple more checks, obviously, before I think Razzio will start sweating, but not that many more. Fire's out of the Black Marble Gallery, or entering the Black Marble Gallery from Reverse Alchemy Lab. Oh, that's not a great place to despawn. But he makes it through. Again, another area where, you know, one bad Nova Skeleton. Oh, and he got the Heaven Sword, which is the best weapon in the game. So hopefully he's going to equip that later. And he's heading straight up, probably for the top 40 fight in Force of Echo. Razzio wing smashing his way to victory. While I don't actually know whether or not it's a real Heaven Sword, it's casual, so it could be, I think, any one of the 3 Throne Swords. But I think Chakrams are Chakrams, so it's probably a 50-50 with a Rune Sword. Realistically, it's probably not worth using. Although a Throne Sword and another sword, or in this case, consumable, is pretty good. Wow. This is not what I expected. Razzio is actually going to go check, or Fire is actually going to go check Creature. Fire does deserve. I understand where you're coming from with that comment. He's even disregarding his own advice. But I'd love to see it be nothing and Razzio make up that time, simply because it'd be a more interesting race to watch. So let's see what we've got from Creature. Interesting, Spike Breaker. So not required. So the real question, what are we going to see Razzio do? Because Razzio, if he doesn't check Creature, might just be ahead. And as much as I would hate to see it, the idea that Creature would be the thing that decides it against Fire would be hilarious. For those who know. Oh wow, this is some really good sync we're getting here. And I'd love to see Gravity Boots for 500, Alex, because this is a slow climb. Right, but keep in mind, Mateus, he hasn't full clear. As to his best knowledge, he hasn't. He's left some stuff behind in caverns, so this could pressure him otherwise. If this is something that would push him back to first castle, like Mist, or potentially Merman Statue, but unlikely just for Merman Statue. That's a really conservative guess. And Razzio's losing some time in the menu here. But Fire just got poisoned, so this is not a great fight for either of them right now. Oh, and apparently he's got a Vorpal Blade that he just hasn't been using. So I don't know why he's not continuing to use that. I guess if he wants the life regen, but yeah, Razzio pulling ahead after that fight, going poorly for a couple people, but ultimately less poorly for Razzio. So at this point, I'd say Razzio is unlikely to go back unless we get Mist, because he's got Library Card and he can pull ahead if that's required. Yeah, melee hell. You're right. Don't sleep on Doppelganger. It's something that can trip up even more practice runners. I mean, Fire's just getting out of the fight, and Razzio is about to go check. Although he didn't dip back for MP, which is he listening to me? Wow, which he's about to do. And oh wow, he's really lucky he didn't run out over that gap. But let's see if Fire dips back for the MP. Or are we going to see another bat sink? Yeah, Barkeep, if Mist is... You know what? Even if Mist isn't death, if Mist is this, he'd probably still be better off killing death, just in case it's not... The final Vlad isn't a death, and then warping back. But it's... We're going to find out shortly. It's Mist. So let's see what Razzio does. Yeah, it looks like he's going to at least clear death. Which makes a lot of sense, because if it ends up being Galamoth, we don't know. What's Fire going to do? Probably the same thing, because he doesn't have the library card. Oh man, guys, this is... So Razzio wants to see anything other than the last Vlad, and he wants to see last Vlad at library. At library Mist, that would be ideal for him and would give him a significant advantage. Base, this started fun, this stayed fun. It didn't just get fun. Oh, okay, this is not where you want to be with your MP. And again, just as much as he has the elixirs, it is slow. And it does take time to heal, but also it's slowing him down here. So it looks like Fire's already caught up, or is about to catch up. No, he's already caught up and passed him. So that's MP management in this game is critical, and you can see why. Fire does have better offense. Yeah, this is going to be really close, even if Galamoth is last Vlad, because I think they're both going to warp back to first castle with that Mist. Although I could see Fire fighting Galamoth. Yeah, so Fire wants to see last Vlad here. Merman would also be appropriately funny. Oh, wow. Okay. So the question is Fire going to do Galamoth? And is Galamoth going to be anything? Galamath, yes. 10th grade Galamath. The numbers don't add up. Yeah, so Doozy, I don't know if you're, if you started watching earlier, Razzio's got a library card. So we'll see if he uses it. And okay, so we're gonna see a Galamoth. Oh, this is going to be... no, Fire doesn't have one. It was in Attic. So so that's something that's unique. And Razzio's fighting Galamoth. Jeez. This continues to get interesting. And Razzio at some point should probably fill his MP. Yeah, I would have assumed he would have grabbed the warp and then card jupe. It's incredibly close. The real question is whether or not Galamoth has anything. If Galamoth doesn't have the relic, you know, Razzio is still losing time though. But he's gonna make a bunch of it up potentially. And it looks like Fire got the setup. It's clicky time for Galamoth. I mean, potentially we could also see a library card somewhere for Fire here that could help. Razzio opting to not save before the Galamoth fight. Must be thinking he's on the back foot here, maybe. But all right, let's see whether or not we're gonna see first castle again. And we're not. It's the final Vlad. Wow, Fire's so lucky. And with that, Fire is heading to Dracula with a fairly sizable lead. Again, and nothing is set in stone. We could be seeing some pretty dangerous rooms, but I think Fire's execution has been a little bit better so far this race. So I will not be surprised if he comes out on top. Yeah, Barkeep, luckiest racer in the community. Yeah, Doozy, these casual seats, man. It's interesting to see. Huge performance from Fire Jupe. You're right. It's been a lot of really clean. Razzio's had some drop commands, like Mortal Pixel has said, but there's also some other execution that's been less than ideal. Getting trapped in reverse caverns has been that cost him a good 20-30 seconds at least, and then obviously on prologue he lost about 2.5 minutes there just on that. Otherwise, his routing choices have been pretty solid. Again, not opting for MP refillment. It seems to be something that I think Razzio struggled with this seed, has been MP management. Yeah, Barkeep, it's death. And I'll be honest with you, Fire's got Pixadad, and that's going to take some pretty short work of Shaft. So I don't know why Razzio doesn't have it, but Power of Sire is so good. Uzi, you're right. I mean, Bradford, you're not wrong. Razzio would be a bit ahead, but I think some of the routing choices he made, like deciding to skip the bottom of or deciding to skip Catacombs and First Castle, could also be attributed to him thinking he's behind. It's almost impossible to take yourself out of the race when the pressure's there. The choices that you make in the race are sometimes driven by the timer and seeing that you've made mistakes in the past and deciding to go for gambles. And it's ironic that the gamble paid off. It just didn't pay off enough, and for some reason Fire's mistakes just didn't hurt him. That plot armor is thick. Yeah, and I mean, he decided to skip Creature, which I think everybody has agreed at this point is a good idea to skip Creature. Fire decided to not skip Creature, which is crazy. But and we're about to see the Shaft fight, and it's with Pixadad, that Shaft fight is very much a joke. Yeah, exactly, Master. We'll never know because of it. And yeah, Barkeep, it has been MP management and also some execution. So we have some questions in the post race. Razzio heading up to his Shaft fight. Fire heading into Dracula. And we should see a one cycle from Fire. And that's it.
Fine.
And Razzio's going into his. So we're going to see Razzio finish out this fight. Again, we're probably going to see a one cycle from him as well.
Alrighty.
Yeah, we're gonna ask you a question, Fire, but oh, we didn't see a one cycle from Raz. Okay, Raz is just on his direct fight,
Man, that was close.
and he just finished.
Nice.
GG's to both runners. That was an incredibly close race. I can't believe it ended so close considering where it started. Let's see if we can get Razzio quickly into the chat.
Yeah, he should be joining.
I know we want to get another race underway, so just trying to be mindful of that.
Yeah, let's take this time to just chill out a bit, give him a little break while talking, and then jump on the next one.
Absolutely. So congratulations, both of you, Razzio. Great job. I don't think we haven't told Fire yet. How many times did you reset Prologue, Raz?
Was it 3 or 4?
Wait, what?
It was, I think, yeah. So very, very interesting. I think hell of a race for both of you.
I've never failed Prologue that many times in my life.
That's okay. I'm sure it happens. I'd say it happens to the best of us, but I don't know.
3 or 4 times doesn't happen to the best of us. That was insane. I have to say, nerves got the better of me there. But
you know what, Raz? You put in a hell of an effort, and there were a couple of things that absolutely could have turned the tide in your favor. So I've got two questions for you, Fire. Oh, you were so close. Fire, why did you check Creature?
Because he knew he was ahead, that's why.
I needed to, like... It was 2 Vlads, man. You can't skip Creature with 2 Vlads, especially when you need to go back to the first castle, probably.
The thing about it, because I died, because I knew I was so far behind, I took every gamble possible. I didn't check the bottom of caverns.
Bottom of caverns was a great choice. Obviously, it paid off. There was nothing down there. You didn't miss out on a mana prism. You didn't miss out on any equipment. It was nothing.
I did skip Creature.
You did skip Creature. The only other thing that worked out in Fire's favor is Fire. Spirit Orb was actually Gold Ring.
Oh my god! I knew when I saw that. I'm like, that's so brutal. That thing was camouflaged. It was camouflaged. It was a black gold ring at Spirit Orb. It was impossible to see.
Yeah, so
I've never seen that before. I swear to God, there's Force of Echo there. There's no way it's not Force of Echo there.
No,
yeah, so it was.
No, at Spirit Orb, it looked like an empty check, but it was black.
Yeah, it was interesting, and we did watch the Holy Glasses turn out to be nothing. So
I know. Can you imagine if that was something? Wow.
Well, and it was, like I said, you guys gave us an amazing race start to finish. So
I'm glad. I was so mad at myself for that pathetic display in the prologue. I'm like, they're gonna think I don't even play this game. Man, that was rough. But I got my feet under me.
Yeah, it's Jupe's pointing out in chat. It's really hard to, if it looks empty, you should go check it anyway.
But I went down. And there was
it's really hard. Or even if you
go down, even if it looks empty and you go down,
it's behind the balcony in how it's rendered. So you're better off just checking that. But evidently, it didn't work out against you. So
yeah, you lucked out there.
Absolutely, that was amazing.
Well, I'm glad it came down to such a close, and my timer was screwed up too. I'm sorry about that.
Oh yeah, that's okay.
Everything was messed up, man.
Again, amazing race, and I think everyone in chat absolutely loved it. So, GGs to you both. Did you want to take a bio break or anything?
Yeah, I think we can get the next one going at like 9:15 or something like that. Does that sound good to you?
That works for me. Absolutely.
Yep, sounds good indeed. So,
all right, cool.
Guess I'll see you guys there.
All right. So I'm gonna. Go back to
keys. Don't forget to ping Steph just in case.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm about to just return to pre-race screen, I assume. So, thank you, everybody, and hold tight. We've got another amazing.
All right,
race.
Razzio, please win. We need the first tiebreaker of the tournament.
Yeah, let's go. I'm gonna win this one.
Yeah.
All right, see you guys soon.
All right.
See you on the other side.
If you like the pseudo disco beats, if you've ever put your PlayStation disc into a CD player, you actually get a hidden track. That's a very unfair question on the number of prologue resets required. 0. That's right, Melee Hell. That's right, Mateus. I think we can all support Raz on this one. And timers are working for both of them. Okay, we're going to be starting the race. Yeah, Base, you're just so mean. No movement and no duplicator. Considering how generous that seed was to start, it certainly it finished like a pain. It could have been worse, but having to go all the way to Gallimouth on something that generous is a shame. All right. You want to see them work for it. That's fair. All right, we're off. Razzio's timer doesn't seem to be working again, but that's okay. We will make do. And we see... a better start than last time, for sure. And we're seeing damage stacks on the back half of that. So for those who aren't aware, damage stacks are a technique or glitch or circumstance that happens where instead of dealing damage every so often, it deals damage on every frame, and that's ideal. It's not entirely consistent, but it is relatively consistent with certain setups. And it looks like they're both successfully through the prologue this time, and let's see how this shakes out in the long term. And Razzio's timer is working again, so not a complete sync, but I think good enough. Yeah, Base, it was a bit of an unlucky turn. And starting off with what looks like the Holy Rod, quite possibly my favorite weapon, just for the wonderful sound effect. That pentagram. And Parfait. Yeah, that 250 drop for Fire was nice. Again, just extending the luck streak. But neither one of them has anything to skip death, so... Arc Armor could be good. Flame Star, so no consistent weapon yet. And Grav Boots. That's quite nice. So for those not familiar, this is going to allow them to full clear Alchemy on the first pass. Because interestingly enough, you don't actually need Flight for the 2 checks in Alchemy Lab. You only need Gravity Boots. It'll give you the height required for both. So, oh, and a God's Garb. Just kind of a little generous with the defensive equipment, but... that's going to be really nice. They're not going to have to come back to the Alchemy Lab, for sure. Rib. 1 of 5. Wow. This is a nice start. And we're not seeing the IQ check. Oh, we're seeing it from Raz. Come on, IQ check. Work your magic. It's a life max up. Well, IQ check, hard at work. Yeah, this is a pretty good start, Bride or Bride Monster. It's nice to see it from a early movement perspective, but also from a quality of life of Alchemy Lab not having to be a separate round trip. But it doesn't break things as much as Total Flight, so quite good. And again, we're going to see the Tetra Spirit into punches to the face. The 2 real weaknesses of Clogger and Guybron, punches to the face, and Tetra Spirit. Very scroll. So, you know what? Even though they're not... I mean, the 1 Vlad is nice, but even though it's not progression, it's really nice to not have to circle back through Alchemy. This is a great start for both runners. And Razzio not checking? Razzio realizing he didn't check. Both of them failing at first try getting up there, which is interesting, but... Joseph's Cloak. And the gods, it's actually an Axe Knight armor, which is not great in this mode, so we're not going to see that. But again, shoutouts to Ziggy Pigster and the amazing Axe Armor mod. Okay, so Fire's going to check Spirit Orb, and the real question is he actually going to check Spirit Orb? It's a card. Still, though, I think we've got some pretty awesome quality of life moving into this. We're 5.5 minutes in. They could go to Coliseum and keep out of sequence. We'll see if they do it. Damage boost off the Flea Man. Are we going to see how far behind they are? Oh, it looks like he's doing it. I very much appreciate the gamble from Fire, continuing to push his luck to see how far he can go. Yeah, Base, from everything I've seen, it looks amazing. So I'm sure you'll enjoy that. Yeah, it's good to grab the money just in case library is something. That drop puts him at, I think, 300, which is most of the way to what he needs, and he's going to do some quick item checks here on the right-hand side. Razzio's joining him, so far, no route divergence, but we'll see if that continues. And we're in Coliseum. He's finally equipping some stuff. And it's Soul of Wolf, which may be required, and I think he just realized that. So Soul of Wolf will only be required if we have to get transformation into all rocks. So in order to access all rocks, we need flight and transformation. And this will most times come in the form of bat and or mist. However, there are circumstances, and I think Fire has experienced this, and this is why he's doing it, where flight could be gravity boots and leapstone, and you could be SOL without Wolf, especially if flight is locked behind that. So there's obviously a time investment here in completing the Minotaur and Werewolf fight. There's risk associated with it, as we're obviously seeing, but it's not that risky if you know what you're doing, and evidently Fire knows what he's doing. But this could pay off for Fire in the long run, especially if we see a Leapstone and not Bat. Yeah, Jupe, you're right. I mean, this is a really conservative from Fire. Usually he would probably gamble that this is nothing. He's either been bitten in the past, especially recent past, or he's trying to play to win here. And in both cases, I can totally understand, respect that. HP's getting kind of low here. This is somewhat dangerous. Wow. Okay, he made it out of there. That again, just getting access to certain areas well in advance of when we should, being under leveled, being under equipped, it can be bad. Sorry, you're right. It is Power of Wolf, Ludwig, not Soul. So that can be useful too. It does with the right setup. It does allow you to skip into Silvering, but he'll still require Mist. Yeah, considering that wasn't Soul, that is a really interesting play. Is he opting for Iron Fist? And with Grav Boots, we're able to skip the dot fight, but still checking the item that's there. All things considered, given the investment of Fire in the time for the Minotaur fight, I would have expected Razzio to be a bit further ahead on this, but I think that's coming down to an earlier comment we made on execution, which is just the little bits of time saved and little bits of inefficiency adding up. Fire opting to go straight to the library. And Razzio unlocking the teleporter. And grabbing Mist. Again, power. So we are still a relic away from flight. Another card, but at least the Soul Steel. And we are going to be able to check Fairy card. Which should hold progression, or Shop could hold progression. And we have Silver Ring. Fire heading into Shop, and we're gonna see.
I'm interested in. I'm interested in.
Jewel of Open, Vanilla.
Thank you.
Which opens up caverns. It looks like there's a Chrysogrim in Shop. No money, but it's worth coming back with money potentially. So could be interesting. And it looks like Raz will have a little bit more money, but not that much more. Not enough to buy the Chrysogrim from the looks of it. But able to pick up a shield at the very least. So we could see some improved movement on his end. And a library card, so definitely some advantages on what Razzio has here. What we do see is if we do get missed, we could see, and money, we could definitely see Razzio coming back here. If not for the Chrysogrim, then at least for the quick miss check. But it's gonna be, it's more a question of what we're gonna see next, whether or not, yeah, and Fire's still got to pick up his elevator relic. But are we going to see Keep, or are we going to see Caverns? That's the real question. It was the Noglamir, so that was the elevator check. Yes. Which I think showed up as the Topaz Circlet icon. They both checked the duplicator, or the doppelganger, and that was a hammer, and neither of them picked it up. Ooh, some sync. And it looks like they're both opting for Keep. And we'll see how execution goes. Looks like Fire's pulling ahead. So again, when you consider the fact that Fire has also gone through the Minotaur fight, I think you're seeing him pick up a lot of time on his execution. Ice Brand again. I know there's obviously some fans of Ice Brand. Not as big of a setback on Fire's side falling down there, but yeah, not a very clean section. But it looks like we're gonna get more sync going into the tower, which we're very unlikely to keep. He said wrong. And so we should, we should be able to see some form of movement. Hopefully, that'll let them check more than one area of keep. But this at the very least will get them the teleporter. Fire hitting a bad beat here. Razzio pulling ahead. Oh, and the item disappearing before he could pick it up. But it's just an uncurse, so he didn't miss anything, potentially. Oh wait, no, it's randomized. It could be something still. Razzio heading into the fight first. Some more sync, just a little bit different. Fire showing off what punches can do. Unfortunately, still behind Razzio. Razzio doing some item checks, let's see what he can pick up. Maybe he makes it to attic, but again, you know, not to QB, but with Razzio being where he is, I think he's hoping for something big. There's another library card. Hopefully, hopefully Fire doesn't make the second trip up, but he stays ahead on that with the second library card. But yeah, given that he's behind on the match, not checking progression is interesting. Yeah, and with nothing at Leapstone, it looks like they're going to be heading down to Caverns. Wow, Fire's deciding to go to the attic. He's going to be rewarded with that library card, provided he's able to make it up this time. And he is. So there's an advantage that Raz had that just got nullified. And so if they have the right sellables, it will be worth the trip back to the library at some point. Raz warping to All Rocks, heading down to the caverns. So functionally, still a good bit ahead of Fire. Fire definitely lost some time in the clock tower, and then again with falling down on the attempted jump to the staircase for the attic. This is interesting. I guess Fire's going the other way to the caverns. And again, you're just seeing Razzio make up even more time, or put himself ahead even more with the shield dashing. Right, so that's a huge advantage of that early money. Those little bits of time definitely add up in terms of saves. Oh, we're not seeing Medusa because we don't have the flight across. Zilla. And we see a Tetra Spirit ends the Zilla fight. Holy oh no, silver crown. So no item, but that could definitely be confusing. So sometimes it'll be a random item drop, and in this case, it's a random item drop that's headgear, which can sometimes also be holy glasses. So that's hopefully Razzio and Fire look at their trackers to see that they didn't actually get holy glasses. So it sounds like Base is getting his wish with no movement. Base. Yes, and there's your corn dogs to celebrate. Fire Scylla fight a lot quicker. At least the first stage of it. And now we're going to see the RPG Jerk Frogs. And Raz not taking too many hits from them. But they are absolutely awful. Yeah, and you can see they're just a giant time waste here. Fire losing some time to the Scylla fight here. He gets his Tetra Spirit out, but that took a lot longer than I'm sure Fire wanted it to. You see Merman check here. We don't have that much more in logic right now. We have a Merman statue check. And then Demon card, I believe. So 50-50 here. The real question, though, is how Razzio thinks he's going to get back up. Good to see you too, gods. Well, we've got Wolf, which means that we can cheat flight. This is definitely not as intended, though. And the real question is, are we going to see a cheated all rocks or an out of logic entrance, or is he just going to go back up the waterfall? And we're going to see entrance. So for those in chat who don't know, typically with gravity boots, you're only able to make a single up jump. However, if you have leap stone or you transform and untransform from Mist or Wolf, you can actually, or Bat, but it's pointless to do from that. You actually jump. You're right, Mateus. It is not in logic with grab jump. Wolf technically opens. Oh, you're right. No, mines might be in with Grav. No, all rocks is only in logic because we can cheat flight, gods. Yeah, the transformation is there, but we don't have flight otherwise. Okay, yeah, Juke, thank you for clarifying that. So the intended, so when Fire picked up the power of Wolf, it would allow him to charge. Yeah, so the way Catacombs is locked in terms of logic, it requires either flight or the Wolf charge, which again we're about to see some good Wolf movement from Fire, making up some of that shield dashing time. Yeah, and Catacombs is guaranteed to be our next progression, which should be flight, and that flight could either come as, yeah, exactly as Juke's saying, that flight is either going to come as intended from a Leapstone, Bat, or Mist. So any one of those three technically gets us flight in logic. So Raz doing the thing he should be doing here. Makes a lot of sense. Fire about to go get a card, or ignore the card, but the real difference we're seeing here is I think Fire is more efficient with his mana and his wolf movements. So we're definitely seeing a difference here. Wolf is just such a nice relic to have for the front entrance. Fast horizontal movement, charging through enemies, very mana efficient. And MrRazzio's heading down to Catacombs. So we've got the Cerberus fight here, which hopefully shouldn't be too difficult. Definitely more difficult with the duplicator this time. Yeah, and it looks like Fire's figured it out too. Heading down to Demon card. Bat. Nice. So we've got flight. We've got fast movement. Let's see what else we can get, and we're really close to be able to blind Bat. So I would be very surprised if both runners didn't go for that. And Pictures of Dad, which Razzio's skipping. Tisk tisk. Obviously, we saw what a difference Pictures of Dad made in the first match on some of the boss fights. Without a duplicator, obviously it's less useful, but it's still nice to drop one on Legion or Grand Falloon. Plus, you never know if you're going to pick up a dupe on the way. So yeah, Razzio opting to go for Grand Falloon first. He's also skipping a fair number of item checks here. And again, we're seeing MP management maybe on Razzio's side that's less than ideal. Something we saw in the first match that made some of a difference. But, Fire, again, making good use of the wolf charge and wolf movement that's available. He did pick up that wolf relic in Colosseum that Razzio passed on. He's going to make up a lot of time, likely, in the corridors in the catacombs. And Razzio starting to slow down on his fight with Grand Falloon. Again, I'm sure he'd love to have more MP for another Tetra Spirit, but oh, there it is. And is that enough? No. So again, MP management, a really big thing in this game. It represents so much. It represents your movement. It represents your damage output. You don't want to be out of it. Now he's spending time searching through the menu for alternative options for a kill. Fire doing the item checks and losing time to see some constant ups. But picking up an elixir for his trouble. Razzio still on the fight and not in danger, but definitely not happy with where he is, I'm sure. This is going to be a big equalizer here. I think we're about to see Fire make up a lot of lost time. Although he went into the fight without refilling his mana as well, which is a choice, which did cost Razzio a bunch of time. So let's see if it costs Fire the same amount. Yeah, Black Fox, I bet he does wish that. That's a bad place to untransform. And now we're seeing Fire digging in his menu for options here. But he finds pictures of Dad. So he's probably going to be very happy in a second when it's dead. Yeah. And so, again, Pictures of Dad has particular bosses that it just absolutely shreds. One of them is Grand Falloon. Another big one is Shaft. But it's night and day that fight without it. And looks like Razzio is going back to his save split, which is fair because he doesn't have. So maybe a bit more time on. But still. Surprising Fire's opting to use Bat as opposed to Wolf here, just with the mana efficiency, but Razzio blind batting successfully. Yes, successfully, with a bit of a wind flap at the end. And picking up some items. Fire about to do his blind bat. And their rewards. Cubazoe. So I'd say it's worth picking up, but if you're gonna save scum out of there, probably not. So they both have library cards at this point, but they don't have Mist. So I think we're going to see hopefully a bit of divergence here. Razzio has the spare library card. He had already purchased one before he found his other. So let's see what comes out from there. Fire opting to take it. And he's going to library card as well. So a bit of a dead end for both, but on the bright side, some items in the shop.
What can I do for you?
I'm interested in this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Fire picking up his shield. He'll be able to shield dash 2 with, which is nice.
Farewell for now.
Yeah, Razzio did waste a lot of time, but Fire did too, to be fair. I think this is, if we're being honest, this is probably not what either of them wanted to be using that library card for. Fire refilling his MP. Razzio out of the library. Where's he gonna head? Check Fire at Bat, maybe? Yeah, and we could see people circle back to Keep as well. So that'll be another option. There's 2 items in Keep versus the one that Fire at Bat, but you don't want to orphan this check. So looks like Razzio's gonna go check it. Let's see if Fire does the same. Missed. Well, that's unfortunate. So obviously wanting to go back to library. Not what you want to see. But alternatively, they could look to do a little bit more before going back to library. Let's see what happens. Yeah, it looks like Razzio's changed his mind. Yeah, looks like he just wants to close off that thread. Let's see if Fire does the same or if he's going to go to Keep. Now, keeping in mind, there's a lot of items out there that could offset the $2,000 they spent on the library card. But, yeah, I think they're both opting to, yeah. Yeah, Black Fox, I agree. I think if I would have done it if I was Fire, I know he probably wants to buy that Chris, but quite frankly, it's there's other items out there. Oh, Fire going a different route. Ah, Medusa. Oh, and a nice wolf into bat there. Yeah, there are other items, other checks out there for Fire to take before going to library. But let's see what library holds. And is he going to check the 2 items there? It is a Vlad, so it is required, but it's not progression. So there may be a more optimal time to come back with a library card. Because at this point, we also have the opportunity, what we may see, if that's a library card, yeah, I think we could definitely be seeing Fire go up. Yeah, Jupe, I've seen that location gambled before too. But what I think we might see from Fire is going up in Clock Room, hitting up all rocks, doing sword card check, going to Silver Ring and then library carding from Silver Ring. It's Silver Ring sucks a lot of the time because it's such a dead end and it requires so much backtrack. But if you have a spare library card, that's pretty nice. And an interesting kill there from Fire with the wing smash. So very, very cool to see. Yeah, Jupe, it's weird. I think this has been a very generous seed in terms of library cards. I think we've seen two plus with a shop. I mean, that's a lot of mobility, and it lets you route differently too, right? Where you can always double back relatively pain-free. So, yeah, we're seeing Fire go up. Probably gonna hit up Clock Room, check grab boots. Because that's going to give him that's a good chain if he does it that way, which would be 4 items basically in a row. But let's see if he does that. He may opt for something else. Razzio picking up the gas cloud. Fire's on his way there, but Razzio not going Medusa, not going to get punished for it either. But, yeah, Fire needs that MP if he doesn't want the clock to close. Oh, it's too late. Clock closed. Yeah, I think it's a good idea here. He's going to take it and refill his mana. Maybe be in a bit better of a position. Yeah, Razzio's about to get really lucky or unlucky. Yeah, that's not what you want to see. That's unfortunate. So he just ran out of MP. Again, I think something that Razzio struggled with both matches so far has been MP management. He's about to get clocked again, probably. Very, very close there. Very lucky. A lot of this is coming down to execution. So he had a more significant move there. Fire just making the direct climb. Yeah, and again, just picking up a good 20 to 30 seconds there based on that. Razzio heading into the fight with Uncle Allrocks. Good fight so far. Yeah. I'm sure he would have loved that that connection earlier, but still really clean so far. Yeah, basic. It goes without saying. I mean, I'm sure being down a match, being nervous is definitely making sense. And both of these players are very good, very experienced. They know what they're doing, but sometimes nerves can definitely get the better of you. Merman statue. So Raz is probably going to take this opportunity afterwards to go down into caverns again, because he could do Medusa and Merman, but that's an interesting location for that. I think both runners are still probably going to continue on and do Silver Ring. The difference with Razzio here, obviously, is that they're going to have to double back, and it's fire bad. They're going to have to double back as opposed to library. There's no value for them library carding out, especially because they haven't picked up the extra library card from outside. Not Medusa. Succubus. Yeah. No, I was Succubus. Sorry, Black Fox. Oh, and Razzio again. MP, not his friend today. Fire not being too careful with his MP either. This is interesting. And Razzio finds a nothing. Wow, thanks for your trouble. That's especially painful considering all the waiting that had to happen there. You know, it's yeah, that's probably not what they want to see. But again, they're gonna check some items, or they could check some items in attic maybe. But it looks like they're heading over to keep for the warp. I'm surprised Fire isn't using his library card. Maybe that mermaid statue has him thinking. Yeah, gods. A mana prism is one thing, but again, if you're hoping for a duplicator, is that the most optimal place for it? It's hard to say, especially when they haven't even dipped their toe into Castle 2 yet. So. A surprising amount of route convergence on with these two, and almost back to sync here. Definitely high-fiving on their way through that room. Yeah, God, I don't think you're allowed to talk about that because we've both done that. Yeah, and let's see what the items in keep are. Holy Symbol. Again, Holy Symbol is something that we see some runners pick up and some not. A lot of the times, it can be useful in Castle 2, in some rooms for underwater movement. It can let you keep your transformation. Those are holy glasses. It could be a really big tempt here with holy glasses right outside the Richter fight. Karina, so they're doing a backdash with the shield, so that lets them move significantly faster than just walking in forward. Fire opting for the Castle 2. Razzio saving. We'll see if he does the same. It looks like not. It looks like Razzio might be going back down to caverns. To be fair, he also has succubus down there, so it's not a single check that's that he'd be orphaning. So he may feel less comfortable with that. No reverse addict check, which is kind of surprising, considering how hungry Fire's been for cash money and the items. Yeah, Masters, they've said he's actually flush with library cards, so it's not a significant gamble. He still has to go back, likely, to check library, but I think he might be wanting to time this with a bit more money. And there's Spike Breaker, which opens literally nothing. Yeah, the real question, Gods, and Black Fox is it going to be, is Merman going to be anything? And is he going to be able to be hunting fewer Vlads in Castle 2? Is he going to be looking for Last Vlad in Castle 2 or Castle 1, right? If it's nothing, that's a huge time loss. Although Fire is likely to still have to, it does still have to come back for the Vlad in library. Yeah, he save split this Black Fox, but this is still the Merman ride and the succubus is a lot of time. So it's not a huge amount to if he's able to save split, but still a time investment. So Dano Zook or Dano Zuke, I don't know how you pronounce it. The score so far is one match to Fire. It's a best of 3. In terms of this match, we're going to find out probably very soon how things are going if this check that MrRazzio is about to do pays off or not. But let's see what actually happens, and if Fire's lucky streak continues. Fire about to fight. Oof, getting grabbed. Not what you want to see. And Merman isn't anything. I mean, Black Fox, yeah, it's possible it could be there. I mean, it's also possible we could be seeing something bad happening on Fire's side, but he's... Like, part of the problem with item randomization and stat randomization is also that, as you can see, the amount they heal for is not vanilla. That's Sirloin healing only 27. Akmanon is no joke. You could definitely be seeing and especially if you're not going into this with the MP, this can be a big time waste. It's one of the bosses that's actually surprisingly susceptible to spells, especially Hellfire, but it can eat up a lot of time if you have to hit it repeatedly. Oh yeah, he does have knives. That's a very good point, Jupe. I don't know whether or not he is aware that he has knives. It was probably a drop somewhere. Oh no, he has Cube of Zoe. He should be aware of it. So, yeah, knives, absolutely. Opting to refill his MP, which is a good call. And Razzio hitting bat. I think Fire's probably going to start getting nervous soon about leaving checks in first castle. He's only half right with the library card and the Tooth of Vlad there. But I'm sure he's running the math right now on 4 to find and a dwindling number of checks in Castle 2. Given what we know from Razzio, he should start to hit some successes soon. But Razzio is going to be able to last Vlad theoretically in Castle 2, which could be a huge advantage to him if we don't see a Vlad on something like Galamoth or Death. And I mean, this fight is definitely not going to be fun going into it with his equipment. Does he remember he have knives? Oof, that whip hits like a truck. Yeah, Poison Cloud is nice here. It's likely not the worst spend of MP either. Alright, hey, he got through trio, that's good. Okay, we see another Vlad. Fire is 3 checks ahead, but he's 3 different checks ahead. So keep in mind, Fire hasn't done Merman, so he doesn't know it's nothing, and he hasn't done Libraries, or he hasn't done Soul of Bat, so he doesn't know that that's a Vlad. So there are things out there, Mateus, that could work in either runner's favor. But right now, the information that Razzio has about not having to go back to first castle is pretty important. And there's a jewel sword, or whatever it actually is. Yeah, this staircase can go pretty wrong pretty quickly, but it's nice to have the gas cloud. It really clears out those imps. Imps in your anti-chapel? Call Alucard. Oh no, death from Razzio. No. No. Oh, that is unfortunate. On the bright side, his last save, he knows where things are. He can continue. I hope he continues. Yay. That's right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he knows what he doesn't have to go for, at least. He knows he can skip bat. Let's see if he goes for creature. Let's see if he starts. He's probably going to start making some gambles, and let's see if they pay off. There's Leapstone. Yeah, it's Fire picks it up. It is definitely a quality of life upgrade for Castle 2 for sure. The dive kick and a couple other items are nice to have. Yeah, Ludwig, he could go left to creature. We could see a couple things here that are atypical plays, knowing that he's probably on the back foot. Again, not what we want to see, but... And again, we can also still see a death from fire. There's a lot of questionable stuff in Castle 2 that can really hurt. Are we going to see fire go creature? And are we going to see Razzio go creature? Yeah, gods. It's not that there's no wrong play. There's really no wrong play, and it's hard to say too with the pressure you'd be feeling after a death. Fortunately, the death wasn't so far back as he did. It was the save split he used to go check Merman. But again, we know that fire is going to have to go back to Castle 1 at some point, right? So this is not a significant loss of time or a significant delta in time if he's able to start making some gambles. There are opportunities where he does come ahead in this. It's so weird seeing fire go for creature. And passing over what the katana on there. Let's see what creature gives us. Well, there's the other. There's Gold Ring. So now he's got 3 reasons to go back to Castle 1. And we don't know what's at Holy Glasses just yet. So it is very possible there could be a Vlad there. And when I say very possible, I mean statistically possible. It is absolutely bait, gods, but there is legitimate bait for him to go back to in that he has a library card. There is a Vlad at library that he doesn't know about. He does have Merman, which is dead ending, and he's quickly running out of Vlads. So I think, you know, if we're playing the what if game here and what could be best for Razzio, I think a situation where there's nothing at Holy Glasses, last Vlad is at Galamoth, and fire ducks out before Galamoth, thinking it's 1 or 2 in Castle 1. That could be something we could see, but this seed has been less than friendly in some cases, and especially when Razzio's been doing his he did his early checks of Castle 1 to know that he's gonna he may have to come back for rings is pretty painful. Oh, absolutely, gods. I'd hate to play this seed. I love to watch it though. But yeah, so Fire's checking Force first, which makes a lot of sense. So he has a bunch of MP. And this is an example of where you'd really want to have that that holy symbol. This can be a really good room with wolf movement. There's a Vlad. Fire's probably feeling pretty confident that the rest is in Castle 2 right now. The real question is, where's the eye? Yeah, Skyward, there's also a Discord. I don't know if someone's able to shout out the Discord, but there's a whole Discord to this game, which also features the randomizer, and it's pretty good. Yeah, the Long Library Discord, gods, if you want to... Good loop. Good loop on Fire. Picked up the Osafune. This is not looking great in Razzio's side though, in terms of combat. Although we took out Silva, he's pretty down on HP. He should be looking to replenish some of that. He's got full MP. There's no reason he's not soul stealing here. He's at one hit away. He needs to do something. This is really bad on Razzio's. Holy sh. Okay, this is not great. He's got 13 HP. Really don't want to see a second death, especially when there's an out for him to win this. Again, he's got full MP. There's no reason he's not soul stealing here. Gas cloud, another option. Okay. That was hard. That was rough, but he got it, and he's got the ring. So he's probably feeling a little bit better about some of these things. But let's see what Death has. Oh, this is tough. This is scary to watch on Razzio's side. Let's see what this is. Let's see what this is. It's a card. Okay, so Fire's got an option to either go Galamoth, full clear second castle, or dip back and gamble that it's nothing there. But he doesn't know what we know. He may grab this in library card. Yeah. So I think there's a 50-50 chance this is the correct call. We've got a possibility that this is nothing at Holy Glasses. If it's nothing at Holy Glasses, it's Galamoth. Razzio playing a little bit more defensively. And he gets poisoned, which is unfortunate. So Fire about to find his second last lad. Razzio about to get his leap stone. And I think Fire's about to be feeling pressure as well, recognizing that Razzio may have grabbed that earlier. Yeah, Fire skipped Galamoth, Black Fox. It's not the wrong play when you think about it. He hasn't checked 3 things in Castle 1. One of them is right beside the library card. He grabbed the warp, so if he's wrong, it's not that much of a time loss. But he knows that there's at least one item in first castle, so he's going to have to go back. Right? Because at the time he was short 2 Vlads and he only had 1 check left in C2. I really hope Razzio skips Creature. Because at this point I think the only out is Razzio skips Creature, it's at Galamoth. But that doesn't appear to be the way things are going. Yeah, so that's what we're saying, Andrew. So if it's the only way this works is if it's at Holy Glasses, Fire is significantly advantaged. If it's not, it's at Galamoth, and Razzio's best option would be to skip Galamoth, or to skip Creature, but it looks like he's going to fight Creature. So at the very least, we're about to get some answers here. But in both cases, it's not the most optimal for Razzio, which I'm sure is frustrating, especially given his death. Yeah, Black Fox, that's exactly it. So, I mean, if this works, great. Razzio didn't even save split, so this could be a huge amount of time. Alternatively, he could get baited if this is nothing, and it could be even worse. Yeah, he died to Akmadon, and it's at Galamoth. It's at Galamoth, so hopefully Razzio does not take the bait, or let's see how this goes. Though it's going to be a race to Galamoth. I'd love to see a third race too, Black Fox, but I think this is... Razzio still has to make up a bunch of time, and we've just seen nothing but top-notch execution from Fire today. So I think it's going to be very difficult. Fire is opting to check Merman as well while he's here. So he does have a bit of a... Yeah, this is an opportunity for Razzio to catch up, but he still has a lot to go through. He's got to do his dot fight, which didn't go super well last time for either of them. He's got to do force. He's got to do death. Whereas Fire is going to warp back. Yeah, but that's exactly it. We're kind of if he had skipped creature, I'm sure that would have worked even better. And there's still opportunities for him to start second guessing himself and decide to check glasses just in case that's what it is. Yeah, that's my understanding of it as well, Jupe. It's creature never has anything until it does. Looks like Razzio's got him on a good loop. Hopefully it's going to stay. It's Spirit Orb at Merman, like we had seen before. So Razzio's going to get nothing here. But he's going to get the heart at Force of Echo. And hopefully he's able to at least even this up a little bit. But yeah, that time loss on the go to creature is probably what cost this. Mateus, he still has a lot of backtracking to do, and keep in mind, Fire does have the warp, right? So it's not that he's that far behind. It's less than ideal. He's also about to be out of MP here. And it's going to be a slower trek back across. Yeah, and so that's what we're seeing here, and I think, yeah, I think we're about to see. If it's not Fire ahead, it's going to be equal. So it'll come down to the Galamoth fight and the execution through reverse catacombs, and you know, if it's an execution on execution, Razzio just hasn't been at the same level Fire has so far tonight. It's super close, Black Fox, and it's both races have been super close, and it's great. And he just skipped dads again, so I don't know why. It's really helpful in a couple of these areas. The picks of dad can really get you out of a jam in a couple areas here. So, yeah, Didi is ranting through me. You always want picks of dad. But we're seeing the death here. Yeah, so it looks like Fire is going to be going into this a little bit ahead. which is what we had talked about. Absolutely, it made the difference with going to creature, which is an absolute shame. Creature is just one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of things. Yeah, Ziggy picks it. Oh, we were giving you shoutouts earlier, Ziggy, on your Axe Lord armor. So there's all right, let's see this fire. And Razzio. No. Oh my goodness, Razzio. No. Oh. And that's definitely it. And short of a death from fire, that's what I was talking about. He could still get baited. I mean, it's 50-50 and he doesn't know, right? And he's behind, and to him, that totally makes sense. So I don't even know if he's too tired, Black Fox. I don't think he's making the wrong call. I think it's just it's the 50-50, and if you're behind, maybe the wild ass guess gets you the win, and there's no shame in that. It's a reasonable gamble. The only thing I don't like is that he didn't pick up the warp, but I think he recognized if he's wrong on this, he's not getting it. So yeah. Yeah, absolutely. He has played super well tonight, Jupe. The fact that he's saving before this, he did screw up the setup, so he's probably going to reset and lose a bit of time. But it's a real shame with that screw up. If Raz had not gone back and taken the bait, we'd have another 30-second difference race on our hands. But that's how things go in casual, and that's how things go in randomizer. It can be a real pain sometimes. So it's a shame that happened, but let's see if let's see it close out. And again, we could still see a death or something here, but it's unlikely to be yeah. Especially with Razzio not taking that warp. Not taking that warp kind of sealed it. Yeah, and Jupe, I know the save locks it in, but I think Razzio knows if this isn't it, he's not making it. Yeah, Razzio, that hurts. I appreciate that. I appreciate that he's still giving it to go to finish, though. And there's our eye. And Fire's making his way to Dracula now. And barring a crashed game, we're unlikely to see. I don't think he realized. I hope he. Yeah, I think this is a hard one. This is a hard one, Black Fox. Like it's not what you want to see. And I think we should also mention too, just quickly. I know we're seeing a little bit of a difference here, but all of these runners are amazing. It took qualifiers and to get into the tournament. So even just being here is a recognition of the fact that Razzio is the top 8 on the server. That he's got a huge amount of experience and execution under his belt, and sometimes things break bad, and Razzio's a beast, and he's amazing. So yeah, I think Razzio is realizing he may have an earlier save, but I don't know how far he's gonna be able to take that. It's slightly faster, but it's not going to be fast enough, and we're going to see Fire getting into his Dracula fight within the next minute, and that'll likely be it. Very smart play by Raz. Again, I think there's a number of things that can just absolutely go wrong on you, and it feels like a lot of stuff did. His death to Akmadon was a huge factor in how he chose to route. This has definitely been a really long casual seed. This is gonna be what, a $1.20, a $1.21 by the time it's over, maybe a $1.22. This is interesting, and yet I do like that. Even with Bat, Fire showed us some good wolf movement. Which, if you're a fan of wolf movement, there's a preset called Lycanthropy that you should check out, and it sometimes gets run on the Long Library server. It's a variant that gives you all the wolf relics early, and it discounts the mana usage by wolf. Having trouble with the shaft fight. Definitely not where he wants to be. Probably not what he meant to do. But yeah, that's shaft done. Yeah, he'd have to die or likely have a game crash, something like that. But he's on his Drac fight now, and I think he's adequately equipped to take this out. Probably not in one round, probably in 2 rounds, but I think Razzio's just so far behind that this is going to be a problem. Yeah, and we may and we may have to. Yeah. Just slowly plowing through Dracula. As Razzio, did Razzio forget that he didn't have to do? Yeah, Razzio even did Doppo when he didn't have to. And there it is from Fire.
Whence you came, trouble the soul of my mother no more. How? How?
It sucks, dude.
Yeah. That's
Alright, we don't talk about this.
GG's.
I hope.
What do you mean we don't talk about this? I don't think.
Oh, well.
Honestly, Razzio died at Akmadon.
Yes,
Hey,
I
Raz.
did. He's super.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I died at.
And-
Do you not know the strat to bait out to avoid the poison?
Well, I got poisoned. while I was trying to do, I didn't have mana to do a Hellfire, and
No,
so I
but
got
like
red from-
the no mana sword only strat, you know.
to do it without having him spit out the poison cloud. I don't think I
Yeah.
do know that. No, what do you do?
Yeah, so I actually I didn't get it at first because I messed up, but once I got into the rhythm, it's a pretty free fight. So you get somewhat close to Akmodon, and it's gonna bait out the bandage lunge punch thingy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so the
when he's got his
idea
arms for you.
is that you jump back, like you jump and attack and you crouch, and while he's doing that animation, it cannot spit poison.
Sorry
So
to interrupt.
it's a similar.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm getting a notice that there's another item on stream immediately after us that we're actually late for.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna end the stream. Please, by all means, continue the wonderful commentary between you. But
the comms, 50.
big GGs
Appreciate
to
it.
everybody. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, congratulations, both of you, and absolutely big hand from everybody.
All right, let's get back to the SOTN Discord then.
All right, later, guys.
See you.